Hey guys, it's Beth and I'm back today because I finished my Fall is in the Air collection. Woo! So much fun. And this is pretty much what I have left is this part of the cover sheet. I used the cover sheet in various forms throughout my projects, and yeah, so that's what I have left, and that's how I can attach it to my little list showing what all I got and when I did it. And then as for the dots and stripes fall collection that I also used with it, I used about 5 sheets, so I still have 7 sheets of this left that I can save and use for another Echo Park fall collection. So this has been so much fun. And some of these projects I've already shown you, like I've shown you a few of them already, so I'm not going to go through them in much detail, but I do have the rest of the cards that I made and a few other things, so this is kind of a card share and wrap-up video all in one. So the first thing I shared with you guys was my 5x7 mini album that I made using the dark brown envelopes. And thank you, there were a few of you who had suggested a button closure, a button and twine closure, because I had put it all together and then kind of after the fact was like, I probably need a closure. So thank you there were a few of you that had suggested that idea. Thank you very much. So I found some kind of dark orange buttons in my stash that matched the orange on these leaves really well. So I hot glued them on to give myself some room to wrap the twine around. So I have it on the back and on the front. So thank you, thank you. Again, you guys have seen this, so I'm not going to go through it in much detail, but after I had finished all of my cards and other projects, I had a bunch of like little stickers left on the sticker sheet. So I kind of came back through and added a few things throughout the album. You know, just like adding the leaf here or there, just to kind of use up those last little stickers. This was a flag sticker that was on the sheet, a little green polka dot, so I added that. And then these were some leaves that I had actually fussy cut out of the cover sheet, so I just tucked those in behind there. So just trying to make sure that I had used up everything. This was a sticker, and so I left it popped up so that a picture could slide underneath there. Little hearts. Here was another little sticker that was a flag that I added. Just trying the little acorns. I added some more leaves to this guy. Actually, I added this extra strip here. There was like a border sticker, so I could have room to add the pumpkin there. So that's it. Oh, I think I added that leaf. So again, was just trying to use up every last little bit of this collection that I could. So that was the 5x7 mini album. And then you guys also saw the notepads that I did. I have 4 of the 3x5 size and then 2 3x3 post-it pads. And then you guys saw some of the cards already too. There was the set that I made using the little 3x4 cut aparts. And then there was the shaker. And then you guys also saw where I used the 4x6 cut aparts to make some 5x7 size cards. And then I had 2 of those dark brown envelopes left after making the mini album. And since it wasn't enough to make another album with, I decided I would leave them just use them on 2 of the cards. So again, just added a couple stickers on those envelopes because I hadn't used them yet. And then now the cards that you haven't seen. And I did use sketches again. That always makes it so much easier on me when I'm trying to do these kinds of projects. This is My Favorite Things, sketch 346. And on a lot of these cards, if they didn't have anything like truly fall, I just kind of made it like a general sentiment type of card, because these flowers are so pretty, and other than being in fall colors, there's really nothing that says fall. So you'll see like several other non-fall type sentiments on some of these. So you don't have to use your fall paper just for fall projects, just something to remember. And this one I actually inked I wanted to ink around the edges of this floral paper because I didn't like the way the cream looked directly onto the white, so then I kind of just inked around everything else to make it consistent. I used My Favorite Things sketch number 352, and I got 3 of these. And the Who Loves You, that sentiment I actually printed out from my silhouette. Thought it was cute with that paper. Mojo Monday, sketch number 383. Give me this one, and the sketch actually called for like a circle sentiment down here, and since I used a sticker, I just added it up here on that paper. This is Sweet Sunday, sketch number 234. And I got 2 of those. Operation Right Home, sketch number 145. I also did 2 of these. And you can see this one I just used hello on, and then on this one, even though it did say fall, I went ahead and did hello, because you can always send a fall. It's just like a fall greeting. This is Mojo Monday, sketch number 361. And I got several different versions of these. I love the bear paper. He's so cute. And then this deer I had actually put on this piece of green cardstock early on because I was going to use it on the notepads, but then realized it was like so wide. I don't know. I just didn't like the way it looked by itself. So I held on to it, and then when I got to the end and was doing these cards, I thought it would actually work well there. And then this is a sticker as well, and then used a bunch of little stickers over here. And one of my favorite sketches, Operation Right Home, sketch number 154. Great way to use up those scraps. Just cut any strips I had left that were like at least 1.5 inches, or that were close to 1.5 inches, cut those down for my little square pieces. And then I had put the pattern paper border here, and then came back kind of after was done with everything else, and ended up adding some more stickers just to kind of embellish that bottom a little more. And then I haven't used, this is the first time I've used this sketch. It just says August 2012 card sketch, but it's from allterrainblogspot.com. And it's just a different way to use up those strips. This is Sweet Sunday, sketch number 239. And then Operation Right Home, sketch number 173. He's so cute, that bear. And I thought about adding a sentiment here in between his, like almost like he's holding a sign that says hugs, because you know, bear hugs. But I didn't have a stamp that did that, and I just hadn't had a chance to like print out that sentiment yet, so I can add that later. This is Operation Right Home number 171. Again, using up those strips and those little bitty stickers. Operation Right Home is sketch number 25. Some more little squares and strips. Freshly Made sketches number 207. And again, just using up all those random bits and pieces that are left. And then this one, it's just Sunday Sketch 090113. And I love this one. The sketch is always so fun, and I love how like clean but bright it is. That one turned out. And then this one doesn't have a name either, but it's from cardstv.blogspot.com. And again, just another way to use up those scrap pieces. So then I have some that I didn't have sketches for, was just trying to use up some random pieces. This was actually the back side of one of the 4x6 cut-aparts that I didn't use. So I just used it as a card mat. And then I had this tree sticker that I hadn't used. So I added it onto some cardstock, and then these pieces down here I actually fussy cut out of the cover sheet and just kind of made it a little bit of a scene. And I didn't add a sentiment to that one. I just thought it was fun, just like that. And then both of these cards are made from the cover sheet. So the top part of the cover sheet just had all these strips showing all the different papers that could be in the collection. And so I just cut that part down and then cut it down to be like 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 to make my card mat. Then just added a strip of pattern paper and then a little sentiment. This one, actually they're both fussy cuts from the pad cover as well. So those were fun. The back side of my pad, or the cover collection, was actually another set of those 4x6 cut-aparts, so that gave me 3 sets, and I didn't necessarily care to use that set again, or those big ones again. So that's why I chose to use this side, because it gave me almost some more like regular pattern paper to use, and then I got to use some additional embellishments by fussy cutting out all the little pictures at the bottom. So here, just use some strips, and this was another strip from the cover page again, and then just rounded the corners just to give it a little bit different bit of detail, and then was also trying to use up some of my card stock scraps, and so I just kind of grouped these 3 varying widths strips together just to kind of anchor all of the vertical strips and then give my sentiment a little landing spot. This one, just trying to use up those strips, and you've seen me use this type of layout before. I originally got this idea from Christy Marcotte several years ago. Just kind of grouping your like width scraps together and matting them. So I've got several variations of those, just trying to use up all those little strips. And then this one, I didn't mat it necessarily, I just put it directly onto my card mat. But then I kind of overlapped them and kind of made it look like a little haphazard look, a little whimsical look, just kind of staggered them, and they were all pretty close to length to begin with, but they're not all exactly the same. But you can't tell that. And then the very last card I did, I don't know if you saw my YouTube post the other day. I posted a pile of scraps. I had a little group of little scraps that I like to use on the insides of my cards, like bits and pieces like that. But then I also had a pile of strips. Some of those strips were just what was left after I had cut down a sheet of paper, and then a lot of the strips were the branding, pieces from the branding strip. So I decided that I would make a card front with those. So basically I took a piece of cardstock, cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Or actually I had cut it down to 4, and I knew it was somewhere close to 5 1/4, but I didn't pay attention to how close. And then just covered the front with adhesive, and then just started laying the strips down. I didn't care if they were the same width, because you can see that there's cardstock pieces in here. There's different widths. I didn't care. I was just trying to make sure I didn't have too many light colors, grouped together. And so then I went to put it on and realized that it was 5 3/4 or something like that. So I cut this strip off and then just put it on the inside of that card. But that used up a really good portion of those strips. But then I realized I had enough left that I could do a little mini card. So I also did a little 3 by 3 size card using those strips as well. And again, just cut some cardstock to 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, covered it with adhesive on the top, and then just started laying the strips down. And then this sentiment, Pumpkin Kisses and Fall Wishes, I actually printed from my silhouette and just printed it big enough to look like a 3x4 cut apart. And I had that left from when I did my All Seasons 3 fall section. So those were my A2 size cards. Those were all A2. And then now I also got some little mini cards. So most of them are 3x3. And these were the ones that I had left over when I cut down the 12x12 sheets to do my notepads. I got 3 notepads plus 2 other scraps. So there was a larger, it was almost 4x4, so I could have made a 4x4 note card, but after cutting all these down, there was a scrap, and then there was this a square that I said I was going to use for mini cards. So that's what I ended up doing with those. And then there's that one. So there's 4 that are 3x3, and then this little guy is 2.5 by 2.5. Because what I found is if you take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock and you cut it down, you can get 3 pieces of 3x6, which once you fold it, that makes a 3x3 mini card. And then you get like another smaller, like maybe 2-inch strip at the bottom. And then you can get because I usually cut my paper down to 6 inches, so that leaves me a 2.5 by 11 inch strip along the side. And if you cut that down to 2.5 by 5, you can also get 2.5 inch mini cards out of there. So you can get 3 3x3s and 2.5 by 2.5s out of one 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. Whew, that was a lot of numbers in there. So anyway, that's why sometimes I do some smaller ones just to use up the rest of that white cardstock when I cut it down. And then I did do a set for the Hershey's Nuggets. Once I buy those, I got everything cut down, ready, goodness, cannot separate those, ready to wrap the nuggets. And then this will be my holder, and I'll probably put it this side up so that you can see the pretty side on the back and on the sides. So that's what all I got. I got the mini album, the 5x7 mini album, 6 notepads, 5 mini cards, the nugget holder, and then a total of 48 cards. So 7 that were 5x7 and then 41 that were A2 size cards. So all of that came out of one of these collections. Now, granted, I did add some of that dots and stripes pattern paper as well, but I used a lot of that as card mats, kind of in place of cardstock. So I did use some solid cardstock in places, but not as much as I usually do because I had this paper. So I would venture to say that even if you weren't using another patterned paper set along with the Falls in the Air or a similar type collection, you could still get most of this out of all of that. So it's all about how well you use your paper and how much you care about using up all the little bitty scraps like these. So that's what I got, and my next task is to finish off this K & Company pad. My daughter and I, we didn't really have a whole lot of time last weekend when we were camping to work on it, so I think that's going to be our project for this weekend. So then hopefully I can get that finished and get that off my desk, and then I can start a new project. Like, this is such a big change. It took me 3 months to finish my last pad, and now hopefully I can finish at least 2, if not more, in 1 month. So that's it. Just wanted to share my Fall is in the Air final projects with you guys, and I will link the card sketches in the description box below, as well as if I can find the Falls in the Air collection, I will link it as well. I'm sure Amazon has it. That will be the link. Someone just said they found it at Tuesday morning. So if you wanted to go check Tuesday morning, you can find it there. If not, I will try and find an Amazon link for you below. Otherwise, if you have any questions on anything, let me know. But thanks so much for your time today, guys, and I hope you have a crafty weekend.